Hi, hello, this is Giri, teaching 10th Mathematics, the chapter sets. Introduction to the concepts of the sets and also problems and solutions from exercise 2.1. Now, in which season we are now at present? Good, we are in rainy season. In rainy season and also in winter season, you can observe so many flowers blooming all around us. What can you observe in this diagram? Yes, here are some colorful flowers in this diagram. Therefore, you can say that this is the collection of flowers. In this collection of flowers, you can observe marigold and you can observe roses and you can observe sunflowers, lotus and so many different types of flowers you can observe in this collection of flowers. Therefore, you can say that it is collection of flowers. It is a collection of flowers. And the second diagram, you can find so many fruits, different types of fruits you can see. Therefore, it is the collection of fruits. The third diagram, the collection of cell phones. So many cell phones you can find here. And the fourth diagram consists of Indian cricketers. This is the collection of cricketers. Now, in all these four cases, the first case is the collection of flowers, the second one is collection of fruits, the third one is collection of mobile phones and the fourth one is collection of cricketers. Now if we come to the first collection, this is collection of flowers. Now if we show or if you bring a lotus, you can say that lotus is a part of this collection. If we bring some marigold, you can say that the marigold is also a part of the collection. You can bring a sunflower, you can say that sunflower is also a part of the collection. But if you bring a fruit or a leaf, you can say that is not a part of this collection. Therefore, if you bring any object, you can say that object belongs to this collection or not, you can certainly say. And if you come to the second example, all these are fruits. You can see different types of fruits. You can find lemon, pineapple, oranges, grapes and so many items you can find here. If we bring a grape, you can say that grape is a part of this collection or grape is an object in this collection. If you bring a pineapple or if you bring a banana, you can say that those bananas and pineapples are objects in this collection. But if you bring some other item which is not in this collection, then you can say that object does not belong to this collection. Similarly, third diagram, these are cell phones. You can see all the different models of cell phones here. This is the collection of cell phones. If you bring a cell phone, you can say that the cell phone is an object. Cell phone is an object belong to this collection. But if you bring a TV remote, then you can certainly say that TV remote is not a part of this collection. It is not an object in this collection. Similarly, this is the collection of cricketers. If you bring a chess player, you can say that the chess player should not belong to this collection. But if you bring a cricket player, you can say that the cricket player belong to this collection. Therefore, all these four are said to be well-defined collections. I repeat, all these four are said to be well-defined collections. What is meant by well-defined? Well-defined means if you bring an object, then you should be in a position to say that that particular object belongs to that collection or not. If we bring previously here, if we bring a fruit to this collection of flowers, you can say that the fruit does not belong to this collection. If you bring a marigold, you can say that the marigold belongs to this collection. Therefore, if you bring an object, then you can certainly say that the object belongs to that particular collection or not. If you are in a position to say that the object belongs to this collection or if the object does not belong to the collection, then it is called well-defined collection. If you are confused or if you are not in a position to say whether that object belongs to this particular collection or not, in such a case they are not said to be well-defined. Okay. Now you see, all these four cases are well-defined collections. Therefore, these four are called sets. A well-defined collection of objects is called a set. A well-defined collection of objects is a set. Let us take some more examples. Here are our national freedom fighters. You can find Gandhiji, Nehruji, Rajendra Prasad, Ambedkar, Netaji, Tilak, Patel, and so many national leaders you can find here. This is a collection of national freedom fighters. It is well defined. If we consider this as a collection of freedom fighters, then it is well defined. If we bring some Abdul Kalam, then you can say that the Abdul Kalam should not belong to this collection, as it is a group of freedom fighters. But if we bring another freedom fighter like Allur Sitaram Raju, you can say that Allur Sitaram Raju belong to this collection, as it is a collection of freedom fighters. Therefore, it is well defined. Look at the second example. This is the group of ministers of the state of Andhra Pradesh, headed by our Honorable Chief Minister Sri Y.S. Jagannath Reddy Garu. All these faces are our ministers, state ministers. If we bring an MLA, then you can say that that particular MLA may be either a minister or not a minister, you can certainly say. Therefore, this is also a well-defined collection. Look at this an example. Here in this figure, you can find a classroom where the teacher is teaching something to the students, and the students are very much enthusiastic to learn subjects. Here, this is, you can say that if a student came to our class, look here, one girl came to that class, then you can certainly say that that particular girl belongs to this class or not. Therefore, again it is a well-defined collection. Here are the girls standing on a row. You can see the girl standing in a row. If we show a girl on the road, you can say that the girl does not belong to this row. As these girls are already in a row, if we show a particular girl, you can say that this girl belongs to this collection. If we show a girl out of this row, you can say that that girl does not belong to this collection. Therefore, it is also a well-defined. All these four are well-defined collections. Therefore, they are sets, as we discussed. These are called well-defined collection of objects. Therefore, these are sets. Now, when can you say that it is not well-defined, or when can you say that it is well-defined? I shall repeat. If we bring an object, then you should be in a position to say that that particular object belongs to that collection or not. If we are in a position to say that the particular object belongs to that collection, or that particular object does not belong to the collection, in both the cases it is well defined. But if you are not in a position to say that particular object may belong to the collection or may not belong to the collection, if you are confused, or if you are in two minds whether to say yes or no, in such cases those collections are not well defined collections. If they are not well defined collections, then they are not sets. If they are well defined collections, they are sets. I may give an example here. Look at this class. There are some students in the class. If we consider, let us assume that it is a 10th class. If we consider the collection as the students of 10th class, then it is well defined. If we show a girl, you can say that particular girl belongs to the 10th class or not. If we consider this collection as a collection of 10th class students, then it is well defined. But if we consider the same collection as the most intelligent students in the class, the collection of intelligent students in the class, then from subject to subject, the intelligent students may differ. If we ask Telugu teacher, she or he may give some names. But if you ask maths teacher, him or she may give some other names, those are intelligent in the other subject. Therefore, if a student is intelligent in Telugu subject, it is not sure that he is also intelligent in the second subject also. Therefore, from teacher to teacher, the collection of intelligent students in the class may differ. In such a case, it is not well defined. But here, if you consider this collection as the collection of 10th class students, it is well defined. But if you take this as collection of intelligent students, it is not a collection. It is not well defined. Similarly, if you come to this row, if you are asked to take this as a collection of tall girls, if you ask me, I say that only the last 3 girls are tall girls. If you ask another person, he may say that only last 2 are tall girls. Therefore, this also changes from person to person. You see, in this case, if we take this collection as the collection of tall girls, then it is different, the idea is different, the opinion is different from person to person, therefore it is not well defined. But if we take it as a row of girls, as a collection of girls, then it is a set. It is well defined, it is a set. But if we take it as the collection of tall girls, then it is not well defined. Similarly, in this case also, if we come to this, previously we took this as the collection of freedom fighters, then it is well defined. But if we take this as famous freedom fighters of Indian national movement, then I won't agree. In my opinion, I have Allur Sitaramraju is also one of the famous national freedom fighter, but we could not find him. In such a case, from person to person, the famous leaders may change. From person to person, the best batsmen in the world may also change. In such cases, they are not well defined collections, therefore they are not sets. But here, if we consider this diagram as the collection of national leaders, then this is well defined. This is the collection of AP state ministers, it is well defined. If we consider this as a collection of 10th class students, it is well defined. If we consider this as a collection of girls, it is well defined. Okay, is it clear? Now, well defined means if I have given an object, then you should be in a position to say that particular object may belong to that set, belong to that collection or not. If you can say that the object belongs to this collection, it is well defined. If we can say that the same object does not belong to this collection, again it is a set. But if you are not in a position to say that particular object either may belong to the set or may not belong to the collection, in such case it is not well defined. If the given collection is well defined, it is a set. If the given collection is not well defined, then it is not a set. Okay, anyhow, the sets is introduced by George Canter, a famous mathematician. George Canter. He is a German mathematician who introduced sets. His name is George Canter. He born in 1845, March 3rd, and died on January 6th, 1918, and he belongs to Germany, and he worked more in the fields of mathematics, especially set theory. He introduced the set theory. Now, a synopsis, introduction to sets. Set theory was introduced by a German mathematician, George Canter. And set is a well-defined collection of objects. A well-defined collection of objects is called a set. Sets are represented by capital letters in English alphabet, capital letters or uppercase letters like capital A, capital B, capital C, capital X, capital Y, capital Z, and so on. Such letters are used to represent sets. Objects in the set are called elements, and they can be represented with small letters. The objects in a set may be represented with small letters, small a, small b, small c, and so on, small x, small y, and small z. And all the elements in a set should be kept within set brackets. These are the set brackets. You can call them as set brackets, you can call them as curly brackets, you can also call them as braces. All the elements in a set should be kept within set brackets called braces. Here is an example for sets. A is equal to set of A, B, C, D, and B is equal to set of X, Y, Z, and N is equal to set of 1, 2, 3, and so on, and W is equal to set of 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. These are the examples of the sets. You can observe that the sets are represented by capital case letters or uppercase letters in English alphabet. Capital A, capital B, capital N, capital W. And the elements of the set may be represented with small case letters, small a, small b, small c, small d, or small x, small y, small z. And of course, with respect to numbers, there is no problem. Anyhow, the set should be represented with capital case letters, and the elements in the sets may be represented with small letters. And all the objects of a set are called elements. And these elements should be written with commas in between, and there should be curly brackets at the beginning or at the end. Like this you can represent a set. Now here in this case, how many elements are there in the first set A? There are 4 elements in set A. And in set B you can find 3 elements. And in set N you can find infinite elements. And in set W also you can find infinite elements. Here number of elements of set A is 4. Number of elements of a particular set are called cardinal number. Therefore cardinal number of set A is 4. Cardinal number of set B is 3. Cardinal number of set N is infinity. And the cardinal number of the set W is infinity. Cardinal number means the number of elements of a particular set. How to represent a set? We know that what is a set so far, and we know how to represent a set. Now, what are the different ways that a set may be represented? How to represent a set? What are the different ways? The first is roster form. Roster form. Roster form means writing a set by listing out all its elements is called roster form. It is also called as list form. For example, A is equal to set 1, 2, 3. We wrote all the elements that belong to A. Therefore, it is roster form. Set B is equal to set A, E, I, O, U. Again, we wrote all the elements that belong to B. Therefore, it is called roster form. This is also called list form. And the second method is set builder form. Set builder form means writing a set by the characteristic property of the elements. If you write any set not by listing the elements but by writing its characteristic property of the elements, it is called set builder form. It is also called as rule form. Look at this example. B is equal to, here in the first case in roster form you wrote B is equal to set A, E, I, O, U. Here in this roster form we wrote B is equal to A, E, I, O, U. We listed all the elements that belong to B. Therefore it is list form or roster form. But whereas in this case we wrote B is equal to X such that X is an vowel in English alphabet. In English alphabet, what are the vowels? A, E, I, O, U are vowels. You listed all the objects or all the elements, therefore it is roster form. But here you wrote the condition or you wrote the property of the elements, therefore it is set builder form. X such that, you should read like this as X such that X is an vowel in English alphabet. By writing this, we wrote the property of the elements that belong to this set. If we write the property of the elements of a set, then this is called set builder form, or it is also called as rule form. And the other form of representing a set is Venn diagram. By drawing a closed curve, you can represent a set by drawing a closed curve. Generally, you can represent sets by drawing circles. You see, example A is equal to set 1, 2, 3, 4. We draw a circle and we named it as A, therefore it is set A. And what are the elements that belong to the circle? That belong to the interior of the circle? 1, 2, 3 and 4. these four are the elements of the set A. But whereas if you look at 5, 5 does not belong to the circle. It is away from the circle. Therefore 5 is not an element of A. These are the different ways in which you can represent a set. Now